Joaquin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Why Did Ask For, Chapter 16.
Hooray!
We're still
Hey.
Yeah, we're still in our teen angst right now.
Wow.
We'll
I
get
sound so excited.
Welcome to the Low Energy Podcast.
How long before we're able to drive a car? I would like to drive a car now.
It depends how dumb we are. Are you gonna fail the written test, or
Why
are
do
we
you-
gonna?
I didn't even have to take a written test, now that you mention it. I don't remember
did?
taking one of those.
Well,
Wow.
in Canada,
Yeah.
we need to.
I'm pretty sure you did. You can't just walk into the DM. Hang on, before we get into this.
That would terrify me. That would terrify me if you can just walk in and get yourself a learner's license like that.
It wouldn't be good. So hang on, before we get into that. So we're up to Chapter 16. Awesome. My name is Dan. Today with me is Pat,
Hello.
Josh,
I have oatmeal.
and Amber.
Hey.
Yay! High energy Amber. All day, all the time.
So yeah, what do you mean you never took a written test for your license? Do you just not remember it, or did it not happen?
Like, okay, you know how you have like a permit, right?
Sure.
We took a writing test to get the permit, but once I went for my license, I didn't have to do a written test.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
It's just the way it's worded. So in Canada, we have a graduated system.
Mm-hmm.
Your learner's permit is called your G1.
Yep.
And then you take a test where basically you have to drive with somebody who's had 4 or 5 years
It
experience
changed recently. It's now.
at a full license.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, whatever. If it changed,
No, but
either
I mean,
way.
that's what it is. It's just they added recently that when you get like after 2 years after you get your fulls, you still are in this probation area. You can't drink. I think the only difference is your alcohol level still got to be at 0 for 2 years.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Yep. That happened
Huh.
in April.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have the G1 that's basically your learner's permit. You have to drive with a capable driver.
Mhm.
Then you can get to your G2, which allows you to drive on your own, but you still have limited abilities, or not abilities,
It's
but
you can't
it's limited to what you can do. You can't
drive
have
12 to
alcohol.
5. That's
You
what
can't
it
drive
is.
midnight to 5 a.m.
Then after
And I
it's the new
think
one.
depending on the driver's age, there's a limit on the number of passengers you can have as well.
didn't
I
know
think
that.
that's how it is here too for the permit. I think you
And
can only
then-
have. Well,
and then
if
you
you
can
have
get
a
your
permit, you
full
can.
license.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Oh, I just said after your G2, then you get your full license.
Which
So
is
it's like
nice.
a 3-step.
But now it's 4 steps, which is why
With your permit, you have to have a parent or like a driver older than 21 with you
Hmm.
at any time. When you get your, I don't think it's called probationary, but your early license or something, whatever. When you get it when you're like 16.
Your permit, your driver's permit. Learner's permit.
No, it's not the permit because like I mean like the license you first get, like the 16-year-old license.
Oh, the one that's vertical?
Yeah, not a full license.
So you can be 15 in your state, right? To get your permit?
You
Your
have to have
learner's
your
permit?
permit for at least 6 months. So
yeah, like us.
the youngest you could possibly be is 15 in 6 months. If you got your permit like the day that you turned 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I do know that's a thing. In certain states, you can get your learner's permit at 15.
Yeah.
Across Canada, I'm pretty sure it's across Canada, you have to be 16.
No,
to get your G1.
Alberta's the only thing. Alberta's, I think.
It's 14 out
Yeah.
there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Because I had a buddy that moved in high school. He moved to where I live from Alberta, and he at 16 had his G2 already. And I was like, "How'd you do that?" And he's like, "Because in Alberta they got it at 14."
They're trustworthy there. I wouldn't
Now-
be that trustworthy.
Well, the only difference is in Alberta you can get your learner's permit at 14, but you cannot
oh yeah.
try for your G2 until you're 16.
16.
So you have to have your learner's permit for 2 years.
Is that how old you have to be in order to like pilot a moose? Do you have to be at least 15?
Yeah. Polar
It's
Bear's
like
G3.
you can drive a car at 16, but you can like ride a moose at 14. Is that what you do?
You can drive a tractor at freaking 12. That's how good. That's how
Oh, well,
good
there
you
These
you go.
tractors you see rolling around in Canada.
Dude, you can drive a tractor at like fucking 5 if your parents or grandparents let you.
Just you go. I mean, on the highway. You know, the wind in your hair. You're 12, driving your tractor. get stopped by the
Yeah.
Oh
cops.
no!
You were
Yeah.
speeding with your tractor.
So
Oh no,
See,
something got
I
stuck
like
underneath
the
there.
idea.
Go get it, Timmy.
I like the idea that in my parents' days, so back in the old days, they had what was called a 365 licensing system, where basically you go and get your permit, and then you have 365 days to get your license. So you could essentially walk in, write the test for your beginner's learner's permit, get it, walk out the door, turn around, walk back in, and go for your full license like that day.
Back in the old days. Well, I come from a small
back in
town.
the good old days.
In the good old days, I lived in a small town, so I remember my dad always told me, like, over there, all you need to do is drive straight and back, and you can get your license.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah, and I'm like, sounds great. Now you got to do reverse. I don't think in Canada you don't even have to do in certain places parallel park. All it is like the biggest thing is, you got to park backwards. That's it.
I hope for my wife's sake, because she's going for her G2 on the 10th. I hope for her sake that they don't have to do parallel parking, because I'm the one that's been teaching her to drive, and that's the one thing that I've avoided teaching her how to do. Because I'm one of those people, like, I'm a horrible teacher because I'm a quick learner myself. So, like, if I'm teaching somebody something and they don't get it right away, it's like, how do you not fucking understand what's coming out of my mouth?
You're
How do you
one
not
of
get it?
those teachers.
I'm
Oh,
absolutely
my
one of
God.
those teachers, and it's terrible. So I've told my wife, like, I can't teach you that. Like, can you ask like our neighbors or something because they're like bus drivers? Like, can you ask
Can you
them
ask our
to do it?
neighbors? Sorry,
Yeah, I mean,
wife. I don't feel
'cause
like
she's
teaching
like-
you. I'm just gonna get mad. Ask our neighbors.
She's like chummy with the neighbors, so I'm like, ask them to just
Go ask your
one
best
thing.
friends and neighbors.
Yeah, so I was like, she wasn't
awesome.
going for it anyway. She's gonna make me teach her.
Well, eventually cars are just going to like roll to the side along the x-axis. They're not really going to have to
What are
worry
you
about
saying,
parallel
Chad?
parking. Huh?
That's true.
What?
Vertical plane, horizontal plane. Sorry, I've been working in
What?
Blender
Have you
too
been
long.
drinking?
No, it's because I've
That's
been
what it sounds like.
no, in Blender you have your x-axis, you have your y-axis, so I was thinking left to right as opposed to up and down.
And then
So they don't have to
Blender.
parallel park because you just go straight to the right.
You know what?
Talking
Don't
about-
you guys
Look,
don't need a
he
park.
comes
Just
in
go.
with shit that makes
just
no
go
sense.
around
He
the
starts talking about
x-axis.
blenders.
Never mind, never mind.
Pat's hammered right now.
I like that joke way
No.
too much. I almost spit out my oatmeal because of it.
Jesus.
I failed my first driver's test. Unfortunately,
Oh,
I,
Pat.
Really?
yeah,
You don't say.
I had a really cool car too. It was
At least
It was
you
an
failed in
Infinity.
style.
and it was really nice. I had gotten it for like $5,000 from this really nice Russian lady who lived down the street, and it was just too long of a car for me. So when it came to the parallel parking, I was like swinging out and like hitting little corners. And it was real cool because in the testing area, they made these two little concrete areas, and then inside was where you needed to park. But I was all over the place except for the damn place that I needed to park. Well,
Wait, the testing area?
yeah, in the testing area.
What the fuck is that?
Well, it's kind of like, okay, they have the parking lot, and then you go drive through the little neighborhood around the area, and I did okay. But then when it came time for the parallel parking, I came back to it, and I couldn't angle inside. And inside the parking lot, they had made this extra parking spot, and it was like one little parking spot between these two poles.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to park in there, and that was like your parallel parking test. But
Wait, so you didn't go out on the road?
no, we did, but that was like the end of the test.
Oh, okay. I
See, so yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty
Fun
bad.
fact:
That is pretty bad.
I passed by 1 point.
Nice.
Apparently, that happens a lot.
Barely
But to
scraping
be
by.
driver instructors are so picky, and then right after, you always relax. Like things they pick, you don't give a shit after when you're actually driving.
Yeah.
Like fucking pedestrians that like, yo, you have to wait till they're fully like across the street. I'm like, and then it's like you gotta wait until like they're on the other side of the road. You gotta wait for them though. Like no,
Mhm.
cop won't
Yeah.
stop me if someone on the left is still walking. I'm going to the right.
It's like, look, if I wanted to hit somebody with this car, I
I
would.
would, but you know.
But in a way, isn't it a good thing that they're picky? Otherwise,
It's
you get a
good,
bunch of
but-
really horrible people who drive on the road.
Some of them sometimes
You
just
get a
do it
bunch
out
of bad
spite.
drivers anyway.
Sometimes
true.
you pass. I heard some stories of sometimes you pass, but they're like, we're gonna fail you anyway because you need to do better. Like, luckily for me, I had a female, and because my childish like face, I'm like, please pass me. I'm just a young boy who wants
Oh
to
my
drive,
God.
and it worked one point.
You buttered up the instructor.
Absolutely,
boy.
absolutely.
Like, come
That's
on,
what
baby,
I did
ain't
too.
cute?
You see,
It helps to be cute and unimposing.
I guess I'd never know.
that's
I had to pass my test the old-fashioned way.
By being able to drive
Actually
properly.
doing, yeah.
I ended up failing my test twice.
Oh,
Ouch.
Well, the first time was because I was just with my grandma and I was like, I mean, I don't have anything else to do. Why not just like take the test and see what's on the test? So I went to do that, and then I saw what was on it, and then they failed me, and I was like, okay, but at least I know what to study now. And the second time was because I screwed up, because here they make you back up in a straight line for 500 feet, and I went a little bit to the left.
Wait, what? They do that? They don't do that here.
Yeah.
no.
You have to back up for 500 feet in a completely straight line. You have to parallel park, and you have to do a U-turn and a K-turn.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to do that either.
It's a lot of stuff you have to do.
The K-turn is also known as a three-point turn, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Some people also call it a broken U-turn. There's a lot of names for it.
our
I don't
test
think
is
I
just
did that.
basic things that we need to know for driving, and that's it. We don't need to do like, okay, now go backwards for 500.
No, I've never heard of that here.
No.
Well, I know that there was people in because I was part of this group that was taking the test together, and there were some people who failed because when they backed up, they weren't completely looking behind them. Like, you have to do this whole thing where,
yeah.
like, if you looked anywhere but behind you while you were backing up, immediately they failed you. Like, you had to wait for the car to come to a complete stop, and then then turn around, then put it into drive, then go. And then it was okay to look forward. But if you did like anything, like looked anywhere but behind you, it was like immediate fail. Yeah. Very dramatic.
Well, anyway,
car
that's
people.
a good solid 10 minutes on driving tests, which Jesse's gonna murder us for.
Well, he
Jesse
can't
doesn't like us
complain.
No,
anymore.
wait.
He doesn't talk to us.
I have one last thing that I think is like really telling.
Okay, go ahead.
That so in my times, because I had to take my permit test twice because the second time it expired, and then my driver's test 3 times. So I ended up going to the DMV 5 total times. And each time that I was there was one woman who, whenever I saw her, she would be coming back from a test. And each time, whoever was in the car with her would come back crying, like straight up in tears. Because she was just an awful devil woman. And one time I had her on my test. And oh my God, she was Satan incarnate. And she
I
shouldn't be allowed
told
to work
you,
at the DMV.
some certain instructors are not nice.
Yeah, that's
A
true.
lot of whether or not you get your license depends on who ends up in the car with you.
Exactly.
Or the time of day.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times if you can pick a time, like go for like close to noon,
That's what I do.
because they don't want to be out that long because it's almost lunchtime,
Yeah.
and you generally get a shorter test, and they're just like, yeah, you're fine.
How many like
And they'll sign your shit.
15-year-olds are listening to us?
Take
I don't
our
know, but-
advice. Noon.
If you're 15 and you made it this far into that boring section of the podcast, kudos to
If
you.
you're driving right now during the road test, stop and go back at noon.
If you're driving right now at this moment, look cute.
Yeah. Give your instructor the
And if you can't act cute, then just jump out and pretend it never happened.
give the instructor
gonna-
a
And don't
little
forget,
smile
move
and wink,
on the x-axis. That's what's
Oh
important.
my God.
It's also the
whatever
Z-
that means.
the Z
Yeah.
axis.
Whatever. Just say
that
random
too.
math gibberish and they'll believe you.
Oh my God.
It's true.
A
It's true.
equals.
And then jumps out. It's just like,
So let's
So
move
I
on
had a
from that.
very
So-
uncomfortable. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I
I
had a
was
very
going to transition
uncomfortable
to why you weren't here last week, but
Okay. Yes. This actually.
you go ahead. You go ahead with your story first. We'll get to that later.
Okay. Well, I had a very uncomfortable. I wanted to tell the story before I forgot completely. My office moved to a new building, and there's this one bathroom that usually is free. So I try my best to get to that bathroom before anybody else, like in the mornings, right? And just my luck, I went to the bathroom like as soon as I got there. There's a urinal, everything's fine. And the way I'm very super awkward when it comes to other people being in the restroom. So I was standing there, and then I kid you not, the second I'm there and life's good, I hear the door fly open and some guy's like dramatically panting his way around me to the stall next to me, and he's like breathing heavy while he's taking the world's loudest piss. And it freaked me out.
Let me ask you, how many urinals are there in this bathroom?
There was one urinal and one stall.
Okay.
And he was right next to me, and it was just like this. Oh my! Like in my head, it was freaking me out because I'm already nervous as it is with other people in the bathroom. I don't know why. It's some weird anxiety. But then it's like he's breathing heavy as he's peeing. He's like, and I'm there like, gotta stay calm, thinking to myself, And then finally, it was this weird situation where I wasn't done going, but then he was going to finish before me. And so it was that awkward moment of like, okay, he can't finish before me because then it's going to look weird like I was here before him. So then the worst thing in the world happened. We finished at like the exact same time. So now it was the matter of, well, okay, who's going to go wash their hands first? And I turn around and it's this really old gentleman that I guess maybe had, prostate problems or something. And there was like this awkward 5 to 10 seconds where we just stared at each other like, okay, well, who's going to wash their hands? And it really bothered me. So, okay.
That was the weirdest story I've ever heard.
I'm sorry. It's just that I figured I wanted to share that before.
I thought we were going to go into like urinal etiquette, but that went way deeper.
Can I make a confession?
It was a very Gus story, though.
Patrick
Very
traumatic
Gus.
stress disorder. That's what it was.
I need to make a confession to you guys related to that.
Yes.
I have severe bathroom anxiety.
Me too. Me too.
It's insane.
I
And
can
Shua knows
understand
a little
that.
bit about this, but I don't think he knows the depth to which it is. Like,
I don't like when people want to listen to me poop. Like I
don't even like
to?
to talk about that.
Like
That's too far.
I didn't
I don't
even
think they
want to,
want
but they're just there and they stay. Like I want to poop. Go. That's really it.
Yeah.
Mine is so much worse.
No,
than
I
that.
hear you.
But pissing's different.
It took me 3 years at my last job before I would do that there.
Because pissing's
Yeah.
different. Pissing, I can do it anytime.
I can't do that either. Because it's like, sometimes I worry if I take too long, then people are going to be like, man, she has a big bladder and like a tiny urethra. And then I realize like nobody's actually going to think that, but
Nope.
what if?
Nope.
What if they do?
I'm worried people are
What
going to
if
judge
they
me for
do?
it.
What if they write letters on like the bathroom stall? Like Andrew Brown stays too long.
I like how common that is, though. Like people being afraid of what other people think in the bathroom. It's like, and I've been there too. I felt the same way, but it's like those people go to the bathroom too.
I think about that sometimes, but
So it's like they're not judging you.
Sometimes I enjoy an empty bathroom, or a washroom, and the best part is when you get an empty one and you see all like the scribbles on the toilet, like the side of the toilet. There was one time I just went to a random one, and there was this sign on it, someone written like, "How big is your dick?" And I looked down, and obviously there's like 30 lines to like the 10 inches. And then there's one truthful guy that's like 3 inches. And I'm like, you're the real MVP. And of course there's like 30 the people like, no, yeah, mine's like the size of a horse. Like it's not even funny. I'm like, you trying to
6.5 feet long.
Trying to impress yourselves in the bathroom stall, huh?
Is it impressive on that bathroom stall? Exactly. I don't know how people find the time to randomly scribble things in a stall when they're there, because all I'm thinking about is like, I got to get out of here. And people are in there, they're doing art on the walls.
Sometimes I just stay to read. Like, oh, that guy wrote that. I like all the random like, meet me December 15th. I'm a hot chick. Don't even think about me being actually a dude. I'm like, all right.
Oh my god. In my high
I wonder
school
if that
bathroom,
actually works.
I
Oh,
wonder-
nothing. I just said I wonder if that actually works. But go ahead.
in my high school bathroom, somebody drew like a Deathly Hallows symbol in the corner and then wrote like flush 3 times for the Ministry of Magic. Yeah, I thought that was neat.
Did they stand in the toilet while they did it?
You see the principal walking out. Who put that gang sign there?
Do you know? And you'll know who tried because they'll have wet shoes as they're going through the hallways. Like,
God
you
damn
tried
it.
to go to the ministry.
has paper towel or
My God.
toilet paper on his like shoe stuck.
You want to know the most awkward situation I've had in a bathroom stall ever? That's non-toilet related, I should say.
I truly don't.
I do.
Okay.
Talk.
I'm intrigued.
It's not okay. It's not what you think. It's not like not bathroom stuff. But I used to be in ROTC when I was in high school.
Wait a second. I'm calling bullshit on that. There was no way you were in ROTC.
Yeah, actually, I was a battalion commander.
For people that don't know, ROTC in America is basically like pre-army.
Well, I should
Where-
say JROTC there.
Yeah, even so.
Okay, cadets then.
Yeah,
Yes.
like in high school or college where they're basically preparing you to enlist and
Yes.
teaching you all of the basic things.
Yes.
There's no way that Pat was in it. There's no way.
Oh, I absolutely was.
No.
I was in the rifle team and on honor guard. It was awesome.
No, absolutely not.
Why?
Please.
Why are you finding that so hard to believe, Fuzz?
I don't believe for a second that he was in ROTC.
I'll believe
Why?
I don't. I'm not professional enough. I'll find you a picture, but let me explain the rest of my story, and then we'll get into that.
Were you doing rifle drill in the bathroom? Is that what happened?
No.
You hit someone in the face, and that
No.
was the end of your career.
He walked in and there was a fat bald dude going, "This is my rifle."
Many are like it, but this one is mine. No. No, actually, what had happened is that one of the female cadets came up to me and said, "Sir, come here." And I'm like, "Oh God, what?" And they said, "Somebody wrote something in the girls' bathroom stall we think you should see." And I'm like, "They're going to murder me." And I'm like, "Okay, wait. Okay, well, let me go get an instructor because this is not appropriate for me to be following you guys into the girls' bathroom." So I did, and they came over and we looked, and on the entire length of the bathroom stall door, in Sharpie, filled in, like bubble letters filled in with Sharpie, somebody wrote, "I love Patrick Nicely."
Aww.
And then they got married and they had a baby.
No, this is not them. And I thought, oh, okay, someone's being very bold, and
It was actually the white fat guy saying, "This is my rifle," and he's like, he's wearing
in the
I
women's
love-
restroom. And
It
then
was
what
actually Pat who snuck in the night before.
Yeah.
I love myself. But that was really crazy is that was just an ROTC building, and then in second hall of the main building, somebody found the exact same thing again. And so
Yes.
it got a little bit creepy at that point. I'm like,
That
okay.
white fat guy is
little
persistent.
creepy. Yeah.
Pat, are you trying to tell us that not only were you in ROTC in high school, but you were a ladies' man?
I was not. That's what I'm trying to say. I absolutely was not.
No, he was just attracting the big fat white guy.
Oh. Please. Maybe I attract a tip. I'm not sure, but it's.
Pat attracts the psycho.
He attracts the psycho.
But
that
it
guy
was.
lost his fucking mind in that movie, right?
Oh, are you talking about Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
creepy.
he fucking lost it because of the drill sergeant, right? And then he ended
Yeah.
up killing the drill sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what a sad movie.
Spoiler.
What a honestly.
Spoiler. How old is that fucking movie?
Oh
I
my
remember my
God.
dad watching it when I was like a young child.
Let me look it up real quick. Hold on.
It's one of those
Pat.
movies when I was a kid,
Yes.
my dad would only let me watch half of it.
What year of
because
high
then it
school
gets
were
so
you in
serious after.
ROTC?
In 04 was my last year, so I guess 01 through 04.
Do you want to know what I was doing in 2004?
1987. Full
Oh,
Metal
he's
Jacket, by the way.
I was in the 4th grade.
I was
You
also
were?
in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
Aww.
You guys are so young.
Fuzz and Chew with their coloring books.
In the
We
4th
just
grade.
we had a discussion sort of like this in GroupMe earlier where it was like Shelly was saying that the server's birthday is tomorrow.
That's
is it?
right.
So it'd
And
be
I'm
2
like-
years
and
now?
I guess that was when the guy who started everything like actually bought the server, because the group didn't start till January 15th, I think she said. Anyway, long story short, we went on about, oh yeah, this is cool, that's cool, my 1 year anniversary is the day after, and I'm like, actually tomorrow is also my childhood best friend's birthday. I'm like, it's crazy to think that I can actually say that I've known someone for 26 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is cool.
It's weird, like now that you're getting up and you start putting things out like that, and it's like, wow, I've known someone other than family for more than 25 years. Fuck, I'm old.
Dan, when you like were solidifying your friendship with this person, My parents hadn't even met.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. Think about that.
Wow. Good old 1989.
I've known Tip for 23 years, and I've known Julian, who was on a very early episode of the White Ash podcast, for 24.
Oh, that's right.
So-
we did have Julian on.
Yes, a very long time ago. But yeah, it's
Forgot
crazy
about
knowing
that.
people this long.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like earlier this summer, I'm a big Blue Jays fan, baseball, and they were finally doing well, and they might make the playoffs for the first time in whatever it was, 22 years or something.
1993.
And I went, huh. And I can remember watching the last time they won the World Series.
Man,
Fuck, that was a long time ago.
That was 2 years before I was born.
Damn,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
Yeah.
You
We're just
guys are making me feel really old
We're
now.
dating you
Nostalgia
now.
here. It's nostalgia hour.
Well, not so much nostalgia, just like when you can put like 25 years and you remember something more than 25 years ago, like that's fucked up.
I remember when the original Power Rangers came out. It was awesome.
Right?
It was like
was.
that was the best day of my life when the first episode of the original came out.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting there just like,
have you watched any of the originals lately?
oh yeah, definitely.
Wow, they do not hold up.
They have
they don't.
issues, and they like redid the first episode, which makes it look all like they try to do like a Borderlands thing where they like identify everybody by their name in these like still frames, and then their name pops on the screen. I was like, oh, they kind of ruined
Isn't
that.
the original Power? I don't know if it's still going on. This how it works, but don't they? The original way was that it was two. What they got the Power Ranger scenes from a different show that was from Japan.
That's
and all
correct.
those
Yes.
fight scenes, yeah, they
That sounds right.
rated. Does that still happen?
Yeah, I'm pretty
now?
sure all the fight scenes in the original Power Rangers
The
are like
original.
from something completely different.
It was called ZU Ranger, I think it was. I'd have to
So you
look.
Ranger. Ooh.
Let me look it up. Wow.
Oh,
What, where you mean where they pulled the scenes from?
Yeah.
I got something
okay.
to talk about quickly before. So we
Go
can be
for
the
it.
first. This is just so we can be one of the first to talk about it. Psy released 2 new videos recently,
Oh god.
and which are going to become viral, but they haven't yet.
Oh boy.
But they haven't yet. They're right now at 1 million. It's gonna hit soon. But one of them is not supposed to be for Western people. It's supposed to be and it's a good song. I just don't understand it. There is one though. He released 2 of them in the same day called "Daddy," or "I Got My Body from My Daddy," and that one I think beats Gundam Style for me. It is fucking
god.
funny as hell. So watch it right now, and when you come back, say we are the ones that brought you to Psy again. You're
Oh
welcome.
god.
We have
Because-
brought you to side. You have
they-
seen
Yeah.
the
They
promise.
You're
use
making me sigh
incredible
right now.
technology. I won't say what kind of technology. That is revolutionary. Don't hold me on that, but it's fantastic. Is that Daddy?
No.
That's the original
No.
Power
Oh my
Rangers.
god, Pat, this is so old.
I know.
Yeah.
I remember
This week's podcast brought to
and a
you
young
by
Pat and a young
Depends.
Dan stared at the
Fuzz,
TV
please.
in amazement.
That's not a jokeable topic for us older gentlemen.
You know what turned that show for me though?
Hmm.
When the Green Ranger showed up.
Yeah.
I was like, I was into the show, but then Green Ranger showed up and I'm like, I want to be him.
Mhm. I still preferred
was
Red Ranger.
awesome.
I thought he was pretty badass.
Fucking Dragon Zord. Fuck Red Ranger.
Okay,
Oh,
look,
boy.
Green Ranger was ridiculously overpowered from the beginning.
Oh man,
Oh
the
my
Fuck
Power
yeah,
Ranger.
he was. That's what
Everybody
made him so
liked him
awesome.
so much, and then he became the fan favorite. But I mean, he didn't have to work real hard. He just naturally had all these powers. So.
I'm a pretty big Yellow
I mean-
Ranger
What did you
fan
do?
myself.
The only thing is that they kind of.
Yellow Ranger's pretty great.
Yellow Ranger?
I don't-
Aw, Trini, no.
Oh yeah, rest in peace.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she's
The
Way
only
to
thing that
go,
was weird about the Green
Uh,
Ranger was how he summoned his Zord. It was like a flute.
Yeah,
Like
he
his
made playing the
dag-
flute really cool.
Yeah, I know, but his dagger turned into a flute, and I'm like, that's kind of, well,
I'm-
kind of feminine.
You're
It was awesome. And it was like, but when, okay, look, it was like his dragon. Okay, it was a flute, right?
Yeah.
But when he played it, like a trumpet sound came out. So it was more like a trumpet.
Yeah, but no, he held it like a flute, and
Aw.
I was just like, Tommy, no.
Did you see when I think it was Machinima that redid, or not? Okay, no, it was Machinima that did the White Ranger versus Scorpion, I believe it was.
No.
And there was this remake, and it was really good. They actually got Jason David Frank to like, I guess, participate in it, and it was this really dramatic fight between a Scorpion-like character and the White Ranger. And then later on, they did one with Jason David Frank as the Green Ranger fighting against Ryu from Street Fighter.
Oh God.
It was really well done. It was really well done.
Have any of you guys seen the? I don't know who made it, but it was like a dark version of Power Rangers. It was like a
is
mini
that-
movie.
Yeah,
I saw that.
that was interesting.
I
That
was,
was
never
messed
into
up.
Power Rangers.
No one's perfect, Fuzz. It's okay.
That's because it was over by the
Wow.
time you were born.
Well, I mean, there was a couple of good nostalgia. I know what's it called, Megaforce, Power Rangers Megaforce, the one where the animals they had, the robots they had were animals. That's the one I lived on.
Yeah, I don't know.
That I don't know what season was that though. That was a farce.
I grew out of that like pretty much when Green Ranger became the White Ranger in a movie. I was like, nope, that's
Then
it.
again, my
Yeah.
shit was Pokemon, the Pokemon TV show.
Yeah,
I
I was
grew
into
up-
that for a while.
I was into it until I was like 13.
That's
I watched
way
Pokemon
after their
vicariously through my cousin who's 5 years younger than me.
It was great.
I'm like, it's not cool for me to watch it, but he can watch it.
I
And
would've-
I'm just
I would
babysitting.
have kept on watching if it weren't for not this season, but the last season, the last run, which was 5th generation. He fucking sucked. Ash
time.
didn't.
Nobody is still watching Pokemon.
Yeah,
Come on.
This season's good. People are thinking that they're going to stop Ash after this due to what's going on right now. They're finally
What
shipped.
people? 11-year-olds?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wasn't it pretty horrible when Ash lost his arm in that Pokemon fight,
It was
and now
absolutely
he just has
awful. And now he has a
only-
robot arm.
Yeah,
now he's
right.
going to retire to become a Neopets trainer. There
That's
you go.
right,
Fuzz.
and
There you go.
Pikachu has one of those little like wheelchairs that they get for dogs who can't use their hind
Has
legs, and he's just like
PTSD.
squeaking himself into battle. Pika squeak.
Oh my
And
god.
then- No,
Oh, that's terrible. You people.
no,
I tell you.
Dan, please, trying to.
I
Make
don't know
people
why I
aware.
associate with you guys. You're ruining my good name.
We lost our
What?
good name long ago.
That's true. Yeah. Well, what can you do, right?
Well, I
true.
have good news. I linked to the Green Ranger versus Ryu fight, and so we can add it to the link dump later. So you're welcome.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Now
I'm gonna
everybody
have to
can
remember to
pretend
do
that they're
that.
40 years old.
Hey.
Fuzz has been really anti elderly people, elderly gentlemen. I don't know
Well,
what
that
this.
was very rude.
I don't know where this angst is coming from, Fuzz. Fuzz, are you okay?
It's because we're episode 16. The angst is real this episode.
That's right.
I've
That
had a
teenage
long
rebellion
week.
starting to come out.
I've had a long week. I'll be real. But, shit happens.
You have had a long week.
Yes. And it's
What with-
Tuesday. Had a
Yeah.
long week and it's fucking Tuesday.
It's a good week.
So
It's an okay.
now that we have a little bit of a break in the action here, we can go back to maybe Pat wants to explain why he decided to desert us last week.
Oh,
I'm curious.
You mean I deserted you guys to go get dessert with Tip? It was awesome.
Yeah, that's what you say. I have to go meet the puppy.
Oh, yes. Well,
Whatever.
Let me explain. Listen. Now, Tip, as some of you may have listened to our previous podcast when he came on, he lives in Dallas. And for the holidays, he likes to come home because normally he lives by himself. So it's a very, it's tough for him because he's really successful at what he does. But, he lives by himself. So he was all excited because his boss one day brought him a dog and said, hey, you've been wanting, a pet for a while. This doggy, it needs a home. Take this dog. So he gave him a little puppy, which he named him Toby Ditka. And he was so happy about it that he brought him all the way from Dallas to El Paso, and he wanted, just get together, and he's proud of it. But I think what is awesome is that he now has this cool little companion with him all the time, and he was so proud to show it off to all of us. And it meant a really great deal to all of us to go be able to hang out with him. So, and when I told him, I said, well, Tip, I hope you know that I had to cancel on a podcast so that I could be here. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I was like, no, I know how important it is.
Now I know you're lying.
I'm not lying. You can ask them.
I know
I
you're
want the
lying, 'cause
record to
even though
show-
I've only spoken to Tip 3 times,
Yes.
I guarantee you never once has he given a shit about anybody else.
Hey, I've known the guy for 23 years. Please.
Also, Pat absolutely did not care about seeing Tip. Every time he told us about this, he was all about,
was
I
always
need to
about
meet
the
that
dog.
dog.
It's always
true,
about the
yeah.
Well,
dog.
because it was a cute dog.
Tip was just a distraction. He just
Yeah. It was a means to get to the dog.
I must have the dog. But it really was a cute dog. I'll see if I can't post a picture of the dog because that was an awesome little puppy dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I wanted to keep him, but Tip insisted on taking him back to Dallas. So.
And then, well, while you were out doing that, we had to listen to Shua bitch about Jaffa Cakes for a
fucking
while.
Jaffa Cakes. Am I gonna go back on this?
Not again.
I was laying on my couch and now I'm furious.
I
don't like them.
I have a contrast to the Jaffa Cakes controversy
Okay.
Oh, no.
because I found like a random snack that I wasn't sure about, but mine ended up being great.
Okay, what was it?
I went to a gas station and
Oh.
they had a milkshake machine there, which was very, very strange. It was like a robotic milkshake machine kind of thing where it had a refrigerator attached to the side of it, and you pick out a cup of...
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And you pick out a cup and then you put it in the little machine hole and it
Mm-hmm.
makes your milkshake once you pick your options out on a touchscreen.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I find one?
Max.
It was quite possibly the best $3 I have spent in
Where?
a long
Where,
time.
where can I find this?
They have them at Max.
Max.
Max Convenience.
Damn it. Well,
Friel, that's what they're called.
I
Yeah.
know, but I'll never find one here.
Really?
Yeah.
Just look up Friel, Freal.
Oh, Frill?
This podcast brought to you by Friel Milkshakes.
They're fantastic.
They are really good.
They're too expensive for the size for me.
Mine was only $3.
Yeah, only for the size of the cup you get. That's too much for me. But I'm an old cheap bastard, so. Yeah, but yeah, no, I know exactly. As soon as you started describing it, I was like, I know exactly what she's talking about. And yes, they are delicious.
I have never been pleased with food that I have taken out of a gas station before.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty fantastic. Especially if you're going to get one, I suggest that you get the pumpkin cheesecake one.
Gross.
It sounds gross.
It
sounds
does.
terrible.
Well,
That's
then
what I
again-
thought too.
Then again, cheesecake tends to make flavors taste better.
That's also very true.
Like if it's in a cheesecake, you might not eat whatever it is raw because you think it's gross, but put it in a cheesecake, it's fantastic.
I honestly thought it would be disgusting, but my friend got the pumpkin one while I got like mint chocolate, and it was incredible because she made me try it. It was really, really good.
Mint chocolate, solid choice though.
I also got some mint chocolate cookies in the fridge that I haven't made yet.
Yeah, can't do cookies.
Oh my god.
Mint chocolate ice cream I can do, but
There's
What about-
one 1.3 miles away.
The Girl Scout cookies that come out every like February or March, and they have those mint chocolate cookies. Dear God, those are the
Gross.
most
The
amazing
Thin
cookies.
Mints?
Yes,
Gross.
the Thin Mints. That's exactly
Yes.
it. I love it.
I'll say again, gross.
Oh, Dad, please no.
I don't know, it's a
How
personal
did I not
thing.
know about
I just
this?
I've never liked
Ultramar?
mint in anything.
Ultramar has it?
Are
Alright.
you-
Ultramar? Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to go on Mountain Road tomorrow
Oh my
to,
god.
Yeah, you will.
to fucking get myself a
They
snack
also have
of a
smoothies
lifetime.
too, in case you want to like stay healthy.
Fuck that. I'm going all out.
I learned also from listening to the last podcast that apparently I got to get Shua a slow cooker because he doesn't have
does need a
access.
slow cooker.
He doesn't have slow cooker.
I've
What do you
been
I
for a
think
very
I
long
think
time.
I think you want me to get a slow cooker for the other reason, which I talked about.
No, no, I just felt bad because okay, for like my wedding, there was a little slight accident that happened where
Oh, boy.
I was explaining to my wife that she shouldn't put crockpot on the registry like 7 times, and she goes, "Oh no, I'm just picking several ones." And they can
Oh,
pick
you
from a
got 7 of
variety
them,
of which
didn't
ones
you?
they want to pick, and I'll only get one. And I said, No.
Did you
if you
get
put
7?
several ones, they're gonna think that you put that we want 7 crock pots.
Do you have 7 crock pots?
I had 7 crock pots. For our wedding, we had 7 of them. And it was so frustrating because, and then it's one of those things where you're like, I told you this was going to happen. Shut up, that's not nice. You're like, oh, boy.
That's like the worst thing you can say to your wife, too, is I told you so.
Well, because,
You might as well, if those words are going to come out of your mouth towards your wife, you might as well just go grab your shit off the bed and go sleep on the couch by yourself.
And, well, I'm
With
not
your
saying
7
that.
crock pots to keep you warm.
You're going to end up there anyway.
I'll be holding the 7th crock pot. I was right. But we returned a bunch of them, but there were a few of them that I think we held on to. So I might have 1 extra somewhere.
If you seriously have 1 extra, I'll use that. If you want, I'll put it to good use.
Just so long as she was not
If
gonna
you have
die
like
with it.
2 extra, can I have 1?
No, absolutely not.
No,
It's funny because I have one
Fuzz
and
is
I never
average.
use it.
Fuzz.
I have some tiny potatoes
kidding, Fuzz,
still
I'm sorry.
that need a
Oh
crock
my
pot.
god. I honestly can't wait until I get married. Specifically because I want people to buy me an entire kitchen. Because that's what being married is all about, right?
I mean,
Putting
if
on
you
a
do it
registry
that way,
for your
sure.
kitchen stuff.
I think
You're just
so.
gonna put more gold amiibo Marios on there.
I don't know if people know that story. Have I told it on the podcast?
Yeah, you
Yep.
did one time.
Oh, okay. Shout out to my gold Mario amiibo.
No, we were looking up how much they were worth.
I
But
need
what's
to
gonna
sell them
happen?
soon.
All right, if you go back to Walmart and you have to re-register for a wedding, I mean, aren't they gonna be like, wait a minute, didn't you already?
I don't think they're going to remember me.
Just like we got divorced.
Okay, well then you have to fill out this form here first, and then you have to.
Can I
fill
get
out
a
the new-
divorce registry?
And then here's your permit, but then you have to be with someone who's been divorced for more than 4 years.
Nah. I'm not going to get registered with Walmart, please. I need some of that fucking expensive Bed Bath & Beyond shit.
See, I guess that would work if you do your relationship that way, in the sense that you don't live together before you get married. So if you do things like I did and move in with her like right away and then don't marry her for 12 years,
Mm-hmm.
by the time your wedding comes around, there's nothing you need.
You just need
Dan,
novelty
Dan.
items.
So we just kept asking for cash.
Here's what you're forgetting. You don't need things, but you can get things. Like,
Well,
We're
I
setting
know,
a horrible example to these kids nowadays.
but for
You're 15 years old. Go right
like I
before
said,
lunch.
by the time
Merry
our
Christmas,
wedding
guys.
came around, we had already lived together more than 10 years. So it's like there's nothing that we need for the house.
Did you get
okay,
a
listen here,
Snuggie?
Dan.
Snuggies are pretty important.
Listen
We
here, Dan.
have
I have a crock pot.
2.
You do have Snuggies.
We have 2. Yeah.
Are they good? Are they worth it?
No,
Damn.
they're a pain in the ass.
Oh my god.
The arms are too far apart.
I'll take them
it's
off
just
your
weird.
hands if you don't need them.
Oh.
I feel
Poor
like
crock
Shua,
pot,
man.
too.
I'm worried about
God.
Shua. We're gonna have to like send in like a rescue mission to go make sure he's okay.
I'll just be with my crock pot and my Snuggie in the corner, all happy.
Oh my god. But that's what I'm
You
saying.
just see
Dan,
you
I
huddled
fucking-
around your crock pot with the Snuggie on around the crock pot and a bag of potatoes.
Just cooking my medication.
Just hiding in
there.
the corner, just cooking
Like,
potatoes.
Josh, you forgot to take
God.
your medication. I'm just pouring it in the crock pot. I'm making a stew.
Just need some more taters.
Shua,
need
I have a
some more
question
meat.
for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to get married and then legally divorced so that we can split everything we get from our wedding registry 50-50?
That is the most messed up thing you've ever asked me.
I will let you have the Snuggie in the crock pot if I get a
Ooh.
blender.
Can I have a frill machine?
Oh, what?
The frill machine.
The
I
frill
don't
machine.
think that people give this as well.
I feel like if I ask for it, they might.
Sure, why not? I
Just
don't
walk
need-
into the corner store. I'm gonna take this. It's for a wedding.
That's for my wedding. You don't have any problems with this, do you? And they look at me like, no. Like,
Oh my
Merry-
god.
Happy holidays. Just take it.
You get the one sarcastic cashier. They're just like, huh, if you could carry it out of here, you could take it. Okay.
I snap my fingers. 2 buff guys can walk in.
Yeah. Done.
Done. Thanks, man.
Done.
I like tip him $1. Like, you have a nice day.
Oh my god.
Just flick a loony at him.
Hits his head and he falls down.
Oh god.
Then I'll be in my corner.
That's the problem with tipping in Canada. It has to be $5 or more because that's the lowest bill we have.
And then I'll be happy. I'll be on top of my frill machine with the crock pot in my Snuggie. Keep living the dream.
There you go.
Oh,
Okay.
you remind me of something, Dan. I
Okay.
saw John Oliver recently did interesting video about pennies in the States. Fuzz, why do you guys still use pennies?
Because there are a lot of coalitions that are blocking the removal of pennies.
Like, I'm glad we're in Canada where it's like pennies are useless. We're gonna stop that.
Well, hold on now. You realize that we weren't the first ones, right?
We weren't the first ones, but I'm glad we did it now.
But I mean, we were like way behind. Like I think Australia was one of the first countries to
It's
do it.
been
Like we were way behind.
We're a
them.
couple of years now in that we've been penniless, or at least been getting rid of them.
Yeah, it's about 2 years since we've stopped using them.
And I mean, we didn't have
But
any.
yeah, I know Australia stopped using them. They also had like the same type of money that we have, our quote unquote paper money that's now plastic. Or plastic
Let me say,
polymer.
for
Australia
people,
had that like
for
long
people
before
who
we
are
did too.
who have been recently teasing about the plastic money we have, it's to stop counterfeit, and it works. There's problems with it, but it actually stops counterfeit.
Not to name any names.
And the other thing too is like I've seen a lot of like, oh yeah, but they melt. I'm like, yeah, if you put them to a fucking blowtorch.
But we can do that the same thing with American money.
Everything online that you see, like Photoshop's pretty common. It's real easy to Photoshop a couple words on some melted plastic money and go, oh, put my money in the dryer. Forgot my money in my back pocket. Came out of the dryer like this. No, it didn't. It's been rigorously tested. It will not melt in the fucking dryer, but it will melt if you put it up to a blowtorch.
And plus, we're at the point now where America's counterfeit is so bad. I think in a lot of stores in Canada, we're not allowed to accept $100 bills if it's American. Cause
I will say,
hundreds and 50s actually.
50s too.
I will say our counterfeit problem isn't actually that bad. Like,
no, it's not, but it's a lot. It's a lot easier to counterfeit American currency than it is Canadian currency now.
I mean, it's easier, but it's not like we have like $100 bills running around all over the place. It's like, I think isolated gangs in like China are people who have been counterfeiting them, but there's not really like a counterfeit operation happening in America, and there hasn't been for a while.
And it's really easy to tell if something's
anyway.
counterfeit. Like you can see it through like a light. That obviously if it's real or not, and it's got that pen too that apparently won't write on it. But if it writes on it, then it's the wrong type of paper and it's counterfeit. So and then the paper feels different. Like you have to have very specific types of paper. So
let's say that like I like that there's the misconception that paper money is in fact paper. It's not. It's cotton. It's not paper at all.
Fun fact.
This is the main conversation.
Fun fact.
I remember I watched how money was made on an episode of Mr. Rogers when I was
We
little.
are not talking about Mr.
We can
Rogers.
talk about
Mr.
We have to
Rogers.
switch to
We can
something
talk
It's a
about
beautiful
Hold
day
on.
in the neighborhood.
I have to
wait.
mention Mr. Hold on.
Please tell me
I
you're
have
gonna...
to mention Mr. Rogers just because it was weird.
I need-
So it recently went up on Netflix, right?
Oh God.
You can watch Mr. Rogers now. And I think I've told the story before where I thought it would be cool because my daughter watches Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, which is a cartoon ripoff. Basically, Daniel Tiger's the grandchild of Tiggy from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Anyway,
It's the same. It's the same producers though. So
Yeah.
it's like the continuation.
It's all canonic. Or
You
whatever
reminded
it
me
is.
of
But
Mr.
anyway,
You reminded me of Mr. Dress Up. I just remembered Mr. Dress Up. Shout out to Mr. Dress Up.
God.
yeah, Mr. Dress Up. So anyway, I thought, oh, God, that's cool. I'll show my daughter that because she watches Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, and she didn't care about it whatsoever. But the point I'm making here is the first episode was about electric cars and a kid in a wheelchair. And it was the most uncomfortable episode of television I've ever watched. But I guess back when it first aired, it was like totally normal. Because it wasn't like shitting on the kid that was in the wheelchair. It was just like, hey, this kid's sick, needs a wheelchair, whatever. And they talked to the kid about what's going on with him and stuff. But it was just like, it was very uncomfortable by today's standards for me to watch it. I was like, I don't know if this thing should still be on Netflix or not.
By the way, shout out to Mr. Dress Up starting before Mr. Rogers. Shout
Well,
out.
wasn't there a kid in like an electric wheelchair that was on an episode, and then later when he got older, he received an award, and the same kid, like now an adult, came onto stage and they got to reunite, and it was like this big old emotional moment with Mr. Rogers.
Maybe.
I think
All
there's
I
a
know,
video.
all I know is that the first episode, I was like, "Oh, cool! He's looking at electric cars. That's pretty neat." Because, electric cars were a big thing, and then they kind of went away in the '90s and early 2000s, and then they came back. And then the back half of the episode was all about this kid in a wheelchair, and it was just like the conversation between him and the kid was like very awkward. I don't know.
I want to apologize to Jesse for this fucking tone of conversation right now.
It's been great so far.
For this and talking about public restrooms and driver's licenses.
You know what though? You know what? If Jesse wants to have a problem with this, then he needs to come back and fix it.
He needs a podcast. If he wants to fight.
He needs to stop working his real job.
How
for
dare you try to
ungodly
make
amounts
an
of
actual
hours a
living,
week.
Jesse?
Yeah. What the hell's wrong with you?
How dare you make money? How
Launch an
dare
actual career.
you? You should just get paid in crock pots and your life will be better.
I agree. Why aren't we getting paid in crockpots, guys?
Apparently
That's a
we
good
will.
question.
I'm excited. I'm going to get my first paycheck eventually.
Oh.
I'll just open a box like, it's a crock pot. Yay.
Well, we pay you in crock pots and we pay Fuzz and marshmallows. It's just how it's always
true.
Marshmallows. I hate them.
No, Fuzz, please.
If you
love them.
want,
The
if
rainbow
Fuzz
type?
doesn't want her paycheck, I'll take her paycheck. If she
You want the
doesn't
marshmallows
it-
in the crock pot?
What?
she doesn't want her paycheck,
of
I'll
an-
take it.
I want a crockpot.
Well, I'm keeping my crock pot deal. That's a great deal. I mean, do you imagine each time I get a crock pot, I have a gift for Christmas? Like, oh, hey, Grandma, bought you a crock pot.
My
It's a
God.
win-win for me.
That's gonna get real old real fast.
It won't. It
Yeah.
won't if I, wait a couple of years. I got another crock pot for you.
How long do you think crockpots last? They don't go bad that fast.
No, they definitely
if
don't.
I say
The crock pot that I have, my mom got as a wedding gift.
Yeah,
Oh.
they last a while.
say, like I
Yeah.
cut the wire and be like, oh no, your crock pot's broken. You'll need a new one. I guess I'll get you that for Christmas.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, so the crock pot I have is like 32 years old.
Mine
Yeah.
might be about 10.
And it still works
That's older
fantastic.
than both of us,
Right? It's older than me.
man.
They got married when my sister was in the womb.
Do you
Naughty,
go
naughty
to it
parents.
for wisdom?
No.
I would. I feel like he's seen shit. that I'll
It
never-
has oddly enough, it has been on quite an adventure.
I can imagine.
It was so it was in my parents' possession forever and ever, and then my sister stupidly married a guy who she had no business marrying, but anyway, I won't get into details there. Anyway, so my mom gave it to them, and then that whole thing ended badly, and the idiot took it and like sold it to a thrift store. And then my mom just happened to be in there one day, and she's like, "Huh, that looks like my crock pot." And she started talking to the lady, and sure enough, it was the same one. And so she bought it back, and then it stayed in her basement for a while, and then eventually she gave it to me. Quite an adventure.
What a crock.
It could have been
I
sold
know,
to
right?
someone else.
Shut
What a
up,
miracle.
It could have went to somebody else, but it found its way back to our family.
Reminds me of the
Touching
little,
story.
It reminds
Story.
me of the little.
It's like a
I
lost
cry.
little, it's like a lost little kitty.
Dan,
It
have
just
you
one
ever
day made its way
thought
home.
of remaking the little toaster, but called the little crock pot?
Shua, you and I were thinking the exact same thing.
The brave little crock pot.
The brave
my
little
God.
crock pot. You can make millions. You can make millions. Like his,
We could.
the crock pot's friends with like an iPad, like what else? A Rolex, maybe like the frill
But-
machine, and that's the
And in
adventure.
this, but in this situation, like the crock pot would have to be like really, really old.
Oh yeah,
I mean, iPads are relatively new, so they'd be like
So,
the young
yeah, it's like
kids. But
it's-
the crock pot would be like an old man.
it's like the equivalent to Toy Story, like unlikely friendship. It's like
yeah.
God, don't take our idea. Copyright. the
I'm
old,
gonna have to
the old,
I'm gonna have to edit
the
that
old
whole
brave
section
crock
out.
pot. Yeah,
Can we
we're,
talk about how insane the concept of the brave little toaster is?
it is, but it's entertaining.
I mean, yeah, I know nothing about it. I know my daughter has a VHS somewhere of a brave little
Didn't
toaster. I
the-
have no idea what it's
did
about.
one of the characters die? Like
Yes.
I'm thinking
it was very
the lamp.
sad.
Was it the
Spoiler.
lamp? Was it the lamp?
Did the
No,
brave little
'cause
toaster do it? Did he
he's
toast
back
his
in the
friend to
sequel.
death?
He did die then. I don't remember.
I don't know, but I remember it being very.
There was a
very
death,
sad.
and it was really depressive for a movie about a toaster. And I was like,
Hang on, we're gonna have to look this up. Death in the Brave.
So you got to flesh out this
Toaster.
My Little
he's-
Crockpot thing more. It's like, is he jealous of his iPad friend that
Yeah,
only takes
like,
like an hour or two to charge, but he has to wait
it's like
like
Toy
12
Story.
hours?
He feels he's gonna get replaced soon with a better crock pot, like given by Dan.
It was an air conditioner.
And then he gets traded to a
That's
thrift
what-
store and is
the
saved
air
by Dan
conditioner
Hahn.
died.
Yeah,
The air conditioner died.
It did. It was really sad.
The brave little air conditioner.
Oh, he's not brave. He died immediately into the movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Spoilers.
Wow.
So-
This took a dark turn all of a sudden.
The Brave Little Toaster is about a toaster, a lamp, an electric blanket, a radio, and a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
a
And
chainsaw.
And their trip to the beach.
no, that's in like the sequel. Yeah, so they have this like kid who's like 8, and he loves his toaster like more than anything. I don't know why the kid loves the toaster, but that's just it. And so the kid grows up loving this toaster and his blanket and his vacuum cleaner. And then he has to go to college, and he's like, man, I don't want this 20-year-old toaster anymore. And he throws it out. And then the toaster was like, no, that kid is my best friend. We got to go find him. And then they go
Hang on a
through all
minute.
sorts-
Hang on a minute. Is this a Toy Story prequel?
It might
No.
be.
Because it sounds very familiar.
It is, but
It's
man.
way more depressing than Toy Story is.
All right.
I promise.
I just going with that. Kid loves the toys and then
Wait
grows
a
up, goes to
second.
college. Like, I don't need
I'm
those.
looking
And the
at-
toys are like, no,
my
come back.
toaster.
I decided to look at like terrifying, movies that terrified you as a kid. I did not know this. There's a Little Mermaid 3.
Yes.
There's a number 3?
Yeah, I knew
It's a
there's.
prequel.
I knew it was number 2 because I watched
Yeah.
that because that had Tara Strong in it. But this one I did not know, and I'm seeing the mom right now, which I did not know made an appearance. That's even sadder.
Yeah.
Well, that's depressing. Anyway, back to Brave Little Toaster.
Very important.
No?
Yeah. The toaster has to go find him because, that's his best friend, the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, the dude isn't surprised that his toaster shows up. Like the toaster from when he was 8 just shows up in the back of his car. So he's like, I guess I will keep it. And then he repairs it and he goes to college with his toaster.
Maybe, because
Fuss.
it's college.
Fuss.
The kid was experimenting with recreational marijuana.
Yeah.
And so he was just really high when the toaster showed up, and he was like, wow, this is really good weed, man. And then he just took the toaster to college.
I don't know, because he repaired it.
It
So
would
I
have
think
to
he had
have
like,
been.
all of his-
I'm just saying, if
Then-
a toaster walked into my room and was like, remember me? I'd freak the fuck out.
Oh, he didn't talk. The toaster did not talk to the boy.
Well, no,
I
but
think.
still.
I think.
I think Dan has to be right because, I mean, if a toaster reappears after that long a time, you would assume it's possessed and it's haunting you. Like there's something possessing the toaster and it's come to kill me. But
Absolutely. Yep.
I guess in
Alright.
this case, he was just very
So-
accepting of it.
Fuzz. Do you remember the movie Anastasia?
More than anything, yes.
Did that
You
movie
remember-
scare you as a child?
Never mind.
No.
Because that movie scared me as a child.
What
It's
part of
pretty
it
bad.
scared
The
you?
train scene. Remember?
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
That terrified me. And-
Do you want to go ahead and explain the train
I
scene?
I
wanna
can't.
talk about
It's
it?
been so long. I know the train is a different animation from the characters I remember. I think, which is a part. I'm gonna Google the train scene right now. You talk.
I
about
actually rewatched Anastasia like rather recently because I do love the visuals and everything in the movie. It's essentially Anastasia doesn't know that she is the princess Anastasia, and she goes by Anya, and she doesn't know this because she got into an accident as a young child and lost her memories, and so this con man Dimitri is going to pass her off to the Duchess so that he can get money for finding Anastasia, and he thinks that he's just passing off a fake, but it's actually her. And in the process, they are going on a train to be able to go meet the Duchess. And when they're on the train, Rasputin, the guy who wants to kill all of the Romanovs, hijacks the train and ends up cutting it in half. And essentially the movie like deals with a lot of things like possession and trying to like straight up murder people, and he blows up the train.
Oh,
So yeah, I
jeez.
can see why he was afraid.
Like
I
little
feel
Schwa,
like the ship scenes should have scared you more than that, though.
It might have, but I remember particularly my brain is going towards the train scene.
Yeah. There was a lot of fire.
This is
so
the best
that's
I
why.
can find. Give me a sec. I just remember there's some random movies I watched as a kid. There's one I need to find all these movies because Anastasia was one of them, and I'm reminded now of another one. I think it was a movie about this guy who was in China. Oh god, I need to find it. I will never figure out what it is though.
I have that same thing. I still have a movie that I saw on TV when I was way too young to be watching this movie, and to this day I can't find out what the hell it was. But in a nutshell, there was a painting of a house inside said house that was like possessed, I guess, and would depict things happening, and then those people would die. And it scared the crap out of me because I think I was like 8 when I saw it, and I have no idea what it's called. Can't find it. No fucking clue.
Yeah, especially since I was like such a scaredy kid. That happened to me like all the time. I was scared of James and the Giant Peach because
Oh, that
I
is,
was.
I can see that. There's some scary scenes in that. What a weird movie though.
Great story.
It's a
What
great
about
story, but it's a weird movie.
What about the story of the midget who like hung himself in the Wizard of Oz?
That's a conspiracy.
I think that's a conspiracy.
I
However,
think
Wizard of Oz did scare me as a child.
Oh,
Yeah, I could see that.
I still think it's true. Let's see. Hold
I
on.
didn't like the makeup. The makeup freaked me out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Didn't the Tin Man get like some sort of like illness or something because like
It
they
was,
put
like,
some
lead
Because of
poisoning or
lead paint?
whatever.
Yeah.
yeah because of how much paint they put on
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I was looking at some of the things while you guys were talking about this stuff with movies, and that's kind of creepy. I forgot about this.
No, there's
Oh,
some
poor
creepy movies.
Poor Munchkin. It's a
There's some
little
movies
weird.
I'm reminded of right now looking through this list, like A Bug's Life. I haven't seen that in years. You
should
know,
watch
man,
A
I
Bug's
just watched
Life.
that recently.
the different. It stars Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
No,
He was the grasshopper, right?
Grasshopper.
are
yeah.
you joshing me? Fuck, I need to
pretty
watch
sure.
it again for Kevin Spacey.
I'll
I'll watch it for Kevin Spacey.
I like it.
But
That was his best villain role ever.
the other
No.
because Bug's Life came out and then Ants came out. Ants kind of creeped me out as a kid. The movie Ants, which was
Yeah.
like its response.
I don't remember
to-
that much about that one.
I don't remember much.
Well,
I
the
just
fucking
remember
head came off.
Yeah, I just remember that.
Yeah.
Those were competing with each other, and obviously, I guess I like Bug's Life better because of motherfucking Kevin Spacey himself.
You loved Kevin Spacey from the beginning.
Fuck. Okay, Treasure Planet apparently had Joseph Gordon-Levitt. There's random movies I've never known these people were in.
Yeah.
Man, Atlantis. Remember Atlantis and how it failed? Good times. Michael J. Fox was in it.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how some Disney movies just like never ended up
they had-
becoming like mainstream.
They had some flops. Like I know 2001 is Atlantis, and 2002 is Treasure Planet. Those must have been some bad years because those two movies did flop. And not like they were expecting them to be big properties. I want to
Yeah,
see.
and I don't remember them being particularly bad.
No, they weren't bad. Atlantis, I find, was good. I'm just surprised Martin Short was in Treasure Planet too. Man, what else?
Wow. I just have to point out on the Kevin Spacey thing. His best role as a villain was in Seven.
Okay, apparently, I want to say. Oh, yeah, that's true.
what?
You know, remember? Do you guys
Seven.
remember the Prince of Egypt? Sandra
Yes.
Bullock was in that one.
Really?
Yeah,
Of course she was.
That was
Of
awesome.
course.
And
she
she
was.
was driving a pyramid that couldn't go below 50 miles an hour.
yeah.
Otherwise, the pyramid would explode.
Oh my god.
It must have been a real hard job. I mean, those things are heavy. Must have been
Right?
putting their gas on the pedal. Oh.
Keanu
All right,
Reeves
guys.
had to...
Well,
Go ahead.
we're pretty much at time here, so
I mean, all I'm
we'll
doing.
go to final thoughts and then wrap this thing up.
I mean, all I'm doing is just looking at kids' movies. So you guys. go
That's what I
first.
figured.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Anastasia yet, go do it. It's a really masterfully created movie.
Watch out for 2017. The Brave Little Crock Pot will be in a theater near you. It will be better than the little toaster. I can promise
Are
you
you
that.
sure? Because that's a lot. That's a big promise.
It's
to
a big
make.
offer, but we're gonna get Kevin Spacey. He's gonna play the crock pot. It's gonna be perfect.
If you're nervous in a bathroom and somebody else is in there, just sing somewhere from West Side Story to yourself, and everything will work out just fine.
One time, oh wait, I have a story to be able to close.
Go
My
ahead.
friend who has bathroom anxiety. One time was in a public restroom and somebody knocked on the door, and she panicked. So instead of saying someone's in here, she ended up saying "Happy birthday" until the person left. That's it.
Happy birthday.
That's incredible.
God damn.
Well, if today is your birthday, happy birthday.
Yeah.
If
And if
not,
it's not,
Everybody for joining
Fuck
us
you.
today, and hopefully we made you ask. Why did ask for?
man,
Why
Brother
did
Bear
Ann-
had Joaquin Phoenix. Crazy.
oh my
Crazy.
Joaquin?
Yeah, Joaquin.
Joaquin.